Hello, everyone. This is Sam Ridgway, and we're back here with another episode of Tales from the Crypto with our resident guru, Cameron Sykes. Cameron, how are you?
I'm doing great, Sammy. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you very much. And today, I think we're going to go into the performance of some coins, and we're going to do a little bit of a market analysis, maybe even kind of talk about if you had a few bucks, what might be a couple things that you want to put your money into, like right now. But again, this is not, Cameron, you have our sheet of disclaimer, or...
Yeah, I'll run through the disclaimer so we can get to the good stuff.
So we don't get sued.
Absolutely. So here we go. This is a show intended to entertain and educate our viewers. This is not investment advice. The show should never be used as the primary basis of investment decisions, nor should it be construed as a solicitation or advice designed to meet the particular investment needs of any specific investor. Please do your own research and come to your own conclusions. No information should be interpreted to state or imply that past results are an indication of future performance. All righty. So let's get to the market update. All righty. So the month of March has seen crypto finally begin to pick up some much needed momentum. The hangover from what has been a clusterfuck start to the year seems to be dwindling away. Bitcoin slingshotting above 40,000 is lifting investor spirits, with the DeFi sector starting to ride the wake behind it. In fact, most of the major DeFi tokens have hit double-digit returns over the past 30 days. The top performers are Thorchain, which is ticker symbol Rune, R-U-N-E, and they're up nearly 200%. And Aave, ticker AAVE, is up roughly 54%. The total value locked across DeFi is at roughly 228 billion. So one could argue this makes a good case for DeFi's comeback, despite being 28 billion below its all-time high of 256 billion. DeFi users have grown throughout 2022, and we're currently sit at a record high of roughly 4.5 million unique wallet addresses. So this means that the DeFi ecosystem continued to grow and attract value over the last few months, despite the broader market chaos. And that's important to remember, because despite what happens in the market day to day or over a span of a few months, it's still an incredibly small time frame. So it's
Cameron, let's just quickly tell people what DeFi is, because if we have people who don't understand what it is, I think that's an important subject to understand. So just give like a quick rundown of what DeFi is, so they can conceptually understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. So to understand DeFi, you need to understand what TradeFi is, and that's basically short for traditional finance. And so that's basically traditional banking investment system. So DeFi stands for decentralized finance, and so that's basically finance on the blockchain in the crypto space without requiring these financial intermediaries. And so a good example of a DeFi protocol would be Avalanche. And so they're specifically, Avalanche is basically the Ethereum, but it's specifically built as a platform for decentralized financial applications to be built on. And those could be anything from various exchanges, market makers, derivatives products, et cetera, to be built on there. So all these new different financial instruments which you can use to make money are being built on DeFi platforms.
Okay, yeah, and that's really it. And it also, in that, takes a bunch of the middleman out of the picture too, right? Like because I know with like BlockFi, for instance, I can go in there and I can use my crypto as the asset, as the collateral, and I can get a loan in like no time. And I can borrow up to like 50% of my crypto without ever having to touch my crypto. I'm just using that as collateral. So, I mean, that's a loan that I could probably get in 24 hours, and I didn't have to go to a bank. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I didn't have to provide all this financial information and so on. So that DeFi space is going to be huge, because obviously loaning money or financial transactions are, of course, huge. So anyway, continue. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't scale an economy without debt. And so and a good example of a project that's doing something really cool with it is TrueFi. We've talked about. They do non-collateralized lending. And so they just use smart tracks to basically vet your credit worthiness, like instantaneously, and then allow you to give you a loan without actually putting any collateral down. So really cool. And so there's a lot of really crazy innovation going on in the DeFi sector right now. But this is all really important to know, because once you zoom out, you look at the bigger picture, and you can remember, if you're watching this, you're way ahead of the curve already, and things are moving in the right direction. And with that said, I think it's probably time to get into some news. So first headline: Research explains Bitcoin mining could be helpful for U.S. energy independence. Pete Sessions said the growth of Bitcoin mining sector could expand energy independence in the U.S. In a tweet, he announced that Bitcoin mining plays a vital role in redeveloping the United States' energy independence. In fact, a team of researchers project that Bitcoin's mining industry could minimize its net energy demands and environmental impact on the mainstream energy grid. In March 2021, a research paper outlined how versatile data centers could endorse renewable energy resources. A flexible data center produces its power either from a smaller specific renewable power plant or receives energy from the grid, depending on the power grid's present state. Data from the United States Energy Information Administration, Texas emerges as the country's top wind power generator. So crypto miners may already have the renewable energy they require. Transferring the crypto miners to use the flexible data center structure could rally expansion in renewable energy reliability and accessibility. So that's something that's really big, because obviously there's major energy concerns with the production of Bitcoin and how that could affect the planet. But thankfully, the way they're doing it out in Texas is making it energy independent, and they're doing it from smaller, more sustainable energy resources, and that's only going to be good for the crypto space. So the next headline here is Visa launches a program for NFT-focused entrepreneurs. Visa has launched a program to help content creators grow their businesses through NFT. The company is looking for entrepreneurs working in art, music, fashion, and film who are planning to incorporate NFTs into their business models. The program launch comes after Visa bought a CryptoPunk for $150,000 in Ethereum in August. Visa has also recently created a crypto advisory practice as a way to help its clients and partners evaluate and pursue potential opportunities in the space. And now we have a really cool headline here, and this actually pertains to one of the tokens we talked about, a fan favorite over here, which is Luna. Crypto billionaire Do Kwon says Terra Luna plans on being the biggest Bitcoin holder in the world other than Satoshi Nakamoto. The co-founder of Luna says the crypto project plans to be stacking Bitcoin until its stash is second only to Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's anonymous founder. A new interview on the Unchained podcast, Terraform Labs CEO Do Kwon explains that the plan to accumulate the top crypto asset by market cap in an effort to back Terra's native stablecoin, UST. He was quoted in saying, Terra's goal is to be the largest decentralized money in crypto, period. Its goal is not to be the largest stablecoin in Terra blockchain. So we're sort of expanding to, let's say, the Solana ecosystem, Avalanche, Ethereum, Polygon. We plan to be everywhere. There are developers and users. Now, the thing is different from growing stablecoin demand in Terra ecosystem itself, where trust in UST is extremely high. When you go and expand into these different ecosystems, the faith in Luna's collateral fitness is a lot less than what it is in the Terra ecosystem. But if you have Bitcoin as collateral, then nobody really questions it because it's the apex. So according to Kwon, Terra plans to hoard $10 billion worth of Bitcoin in order to become the second largest holder in the world behind, King of Crypto and basically crypto's equivalent to Neo from the Matrix, Satoshi Nakamoto. And so that's both bullish for Bitcoin, because that means there's guaranteed to have $10 billion worth of it swept off the market. And that has to be extremely bullish for Luna and building their ecosystem. And so, we've talked about them a bunch of times in the show before, but I think this only strengthens our case for, really big moves and a strong future ahead for Luna.
Yeah. So what have you heard any new stuff about the metaverse? I mean, Facebook came up, changed their whole entire company name to Meta, which analysis says was probably not a good idea. Their stock fell and so on. I don't know, whatever happens with that. But it was such a big thing, right? Recently, and you heard all of this stuff about the metaverse. And then at least in the news, it seems like it's kind of just fizzled a little for something that's going to change the entire way we buy things and how we interact with each other and so on. Have you heard any new, additional, innovative things?
I think Meta, their version of the metaverse, I don't think that's really going to catch on, to be completely honest with you. I think it's not a good look to be associated with that brand anymore. I think it's, they're basically looked at as one of the most evil just corporations in the world, and they're pretty despised throughout the crypto space in general. So I think there is being a concentrated effort being made to kind of push them out of this space and not allow them to capture it from basically all the people who are building in the crypto. So I don't think that's really long-term viable on their end. But I mean, I think as far as other metaverses, that ones are being created on blockchain, like the crypto space, not by, Mark Zuckerberg, those are going to take off. I mean, what Bored Ape Yacht Club right now, when they announced they're launching the other side, which is going to be their metaverse, I think that's really huge. I mean, I think, they're consolidating power in the NFT space and in the metaverse and Web3 in a way that's kind of like really unusual and never seen before in crypto, especially, which is sort of ironic considering crypto's ethos is supposed to be decentralization. They're just consolidating so much power. But I think we're going to start to see them almost be like evolve into some weird hybrid social conglomerate type of thing. You know what I mean? They're going to be a socially ran organization who's going to wield so much power and have so much cash that they're going to be essentially be able to do whatever they want. So I'm really bullish on them. And, their ApeCoin, which is on Coinbase and basically used as a governance coin.
I'd have to agree with you on the whole Facebook thing and the whole Meta thing. I think that it could have been a good idea. I mean, Decentraland's probably still going well, but with the whole Meta thing, people don't trust Facebook. I agree with you because of the censorship and because of the clear agenda that they come out with. I mean, if you're going to be a social media platform that large, you should be able to come out with all different types of opinions, and you shouldn't have your opinion censored because it doesn't meet the left, idea of what the world should look like. And I'm not attacking the left one way or another. I'm just saying that obviously they're very left leaning, progressive leaning, and you should be able to have an opinion opposing that and still have that be able to be heard without going in Facebook jail or something. So I think you're definitely right with the whole Meta thing. I think they just screwed the pooch on just creating a brand that people just distrust.
I mean, yeah, they're supposed to. I mean, they're supposed to be a platform where people are supposed to share and engage and like give their opinions and what they're about, not a platform for dictating and trying to censor other people's opinions. And so,
right. I agree.
They're going to go to MySpace.
Yeah, and then the thing is, who's coming in? Like that void is going to be filled.
Oh, it's absolutely going to be filled, and in fact, it's really interesting. We talked about decentralized social the other week, right? And just only a few days after we talked about it, Elon Musk started tweeting about how his lack of how he doesn't like Twitter, and and basically saying, asking people on Twitter if they would want him to create a decentralized social network. And then just a couple of days after that, DeSo, the coin we talked about, shot up over 100% in one day with over 5,000 times the average daily volume. And all over Twitter, people are like, Elon Musk is buying DeSo. He's trying to get involved, building on the platform. That's all probably speculation. No idea if it's true or not, but I think regardless, it's a good indication of where things are going, and it's showing that our thoughts and kind of our visions of the future is pretty aligned with what's actually going to happen.
Yeah. And then I guess to wrap it up, we're 13 minutes or so. Just to wrap it up, if you had a couple $1,000 extra in your pocket, given the way the market's sitting, given the news, given all the rest of the stuff that's going on, what might be a couple coins that you would say, I think these are probably, again, it's not financial advice, don't take it in, but what would you say personally you might stick a couple grand into?
I mean, the ones I'm most bullish on, obviously we've talked about Quant, Luna, Avalanche. Those are kind of my top 3 non-metaverse related plays. I mean, but I think the metaverse, the play to earn gaming space, that's only going to be growing. I mean, I just listened to a thing the other day, a webinar put on by Solana, and they said about 80 to 90% of the capital being invested into the space is going directly to projects in the gaming space. And so that's huge. And so, I mean, Decentraland, Axie Infinity, I mean, Wilder World, I think all the Meta Hero, all those would be great. Boson Protocol, extremely, extremely undervalued. And so we've talked about that one before. And so you can get that on crypto.com. It's trading for about $1.10 right now. And I think as a long-term, just buy and hold, that's something that, I have my money in. And I feel really confident and strong about their future. And so do your own research, check it out. And, I think, they're definitely worth a look, and you might have a good chance to make some good money on them.
Sounds good. All right. Well, that's about the time that we have. So again, Cameron, as always, thanks for all your insight and all the research that you do, and picking out the news articles, that actually matter and, bringing them out. Let us know where things are going and then letting us know, if you have a couple bucks in your pocket where you'd stick it. So anyway, thanks again. We'll talk next week. All right.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye.